How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to be going over another video by Tara. It is publicly accessible. I am going to watch it, and under the disclaimer and protection of fair use, which says, under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, which I will be providing, comment, I will be providing, news reporting, teaching, which I will be using it for education, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So I do not need her consent if I follow the guidelines of fair use, which then follows up nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So I am not going against YouTube's term of service. I am using fair use because I will be pausing, transforming the original video, never claiming it as my own video. It is Tara's. I have never stated, nor will I ever state, that you should not follow Tara. In fact, I tell people very often, for the people that I review, please go to this person if you want to. Do not listen to me if you don't want to. If you want to subscribe to them, you want to support them, like their video, please, by all means. You are free to do that. You don't need my consent to or to not do that. But I never state that you should not. So please do. If you like Tara, go follow her. I also state that you are allowed to dislike my videos if you feel that is appropriate. I've never stated any of her videos are my own footage. I'm reviewing it. I am, again, transforming it by pausing, going through long bouts of my own criticism, which you don't have to like, my own commenting, which, again, you don't have to like, but that does not mean that it is not protected under fair use. So, we're going to get on with the video. Just wanted to make this one time, nice and clear, really loud for the people in the back, for Tara and her followers, that under the Title 17 USC Section 107, allowance is made for fair use. When I use criticism, commenting, and for YouTube terms of services, transforming the original video. So if I happen to get another false copyright claim on this video, then I will not remove it. I will go through the process and I will try to fight it. And we will see what happens then. And my final words are, you don't have to like what I have to say. You don't have to like me. Nothing I ever say is ever meant to be personal. I never ask for anyone to send any kind of hateful, mean, rude, disrespectful comments or energy your way or any way towards the people that I review. I get really loud on here. I'm very passionate. But nonetheless, what I try to do this for is educate people, give them my point of view. So with that out of the way, I think I've disclaimed enough. This will be a one-time disclaimer. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. Okay, so by now you have probably heard the at least 3-minute long disclaimer. So hopefully that will keep Tara and her followers from trying to strike the channel and claim that, I'm misusing this footage. So in this video, I thought it would be interesting. It'll be a short one. Bella sits down, a bit of a shock. What I saw from the little bit that I saw of this video, Bella did not just sit down. It looked like she either lost her footing or, in my opinion, it looks like she lost her, her back legs gave out for, a quick period. She could have slipped in the grass, who knows. But, a couple of issues here. First, yes, I understand Bella is 15 hands high. Thank you to all the people who have clearly stated that. I understand now. You're still going to be commenting on the videos anyway because you don't, watch these ones. I understand she's a tall horse. That does not excuse necessarily the use of a mounting block. Now, let me say this about the mounting block. I am all for it if it helps the horse. But the mounting block alone is not what we're looking at. I'm looking at the reason behind the mounting block. Is she using it because it's better for the horse, but she still has good balance and seat and, muscle and core strength? Or is she using it because it's easier for her? That's the whole idea behind why I try to bring up the mounting block, is because you can use the mounting block because it's easier for the horse, but you still ride like a sack of potatoes. Or you can not use the mounting block, or use it, either way. But if you don't use it and you just, get on your horse from the side of a hill, or you do it once, just to show yourself that you have the muscle strength to get into the saddle, and you're not plopping down, you're not throwing your horse off balance, all this and that, then great. I mean, if you use mounting, it doesn't matter you do whatever you're going to do. It doesn't matter what I think. Nobody cares what I think anyway. So if you're going to use a mounting block, then fine. I mean, do whatever you want to with your horse. But the whole reason why I talk about the mounting block is, or the step ladder, some people might even use, is, are you using it as a cheat for yourself, or are you using it to help the horse? If you're using it to help the horse, then that's great. Just make sure that you yourself can also get in the saddle if you had to without it. Make sure you still have the muscle and the core and the balance that is needed to ride a horse and be a light, easy load. Second issue that I have is that horses, according to Google, their spines do not fuse until at least 5.5 years old. So all these people saying that you can ride a horse at 4 years old, and just because they race them at 2 and 3, they ruin their bodies. This horse, look, if you're just getting out on your horse and you're just sitting on them for a little bit, teaching them that they can accept a rider and all that, I mean, great. Like, you should start your horse, far before 5, but don't take them out in the arena for these long rides, or go out, for these long hacks, in the I don't know, on the trails and whatnot. Look, this is still a young horse. She doesn't need to be carrying this weight. In my opinion, the rider is too big for her. And it's not anything about, body image or anything like that. I myself suffer from body image disorder, so I'm very, very aware, and I relate a lot to that. So that is nothing about her looks or her image or anything like that. What I mean is just the weight of the rider. I mean, I certainly would not ride Bella even if she were fully grown, because I know that I would be maxing out the 20%. I prefer to ride larger horses anyway, just because I like them and because I know I'm guaranteed to be a lighter load. If I have a 2,000-pound horse, I am within that 10% region. I don't want to max out a horse at the 20% weight. She's also, again, a young horse. Her spine isn't even finished fusing and growing, and, the muscles are developing. If you're just going to, get her used to having a rider, fine. But I still don't think horses should even be ridden for long little bits and stuff like this. Do everything on the ground and get them used to, all sorts of things you can do without getting on their back and pulling on their face and all this. I mean, I don't like it anyway, but, between, I would say, 6 or 7 even. Like, don't start, getting on their back and such until they're maybe 6. That's just my opinion. I certainly wouldn't want someone, it's like putting a 50-pound backpack on a 10-year-old kid. That's too much weight. Like, I know I had that when I was going to school. Do everything and anything with your horse, get them used to all that. But I just don't think it's right to be already putting a rider on and doing all of this at such a young age of a horse when they're still developing. You can cause, physical issues later on. You can cause back problems. You can cause joint problems. As we're going to see, it looks like Bella's legs kind of give out here in a minute. So that's enough of my ranting there. We're going to go ahead and get started with the video. So she's out on a nice little walk. I mean, I think this is great. If Bella were, like, more developed, spine-wise, or even if she were just to do this maybe, once a week or something, just go out for a short little walk, then okay. I personally, I can handle that. I mean, I would prefer not the bit, but, and the type, it's loose now, but it's still, she's ready for contact. But, I mean, I would still wait for her at least to be 5.5 before I started going out, even for little walks like this. She's just going for a nice little walk. So we got at least multiple people here. Got this here, I'm assuming to say it's a green horse or nervous horse. I know red tags usually mean that they're a kicker. So I don't know if this guy is with them or not. He's just on a nice little walk. So we've got lots of distractions here. We've got lots of open field. Could be easy for Bella to spook because we've got, the perimeter of the bushes here. Being a prey animal, she might think like the other horse did when he was afraid of cattle. And the rider was just like kicking and screaming at him, and he knocked her over. He flipped back into a ditch and almost killed both of them. He didn't. She did. She flipped him, but just keep an eye out for your horse. But Bella seems, not really worried at all. But distraction, person with the camera distraction. So she's just going on a nice little walk. Bella's head looks a little bit high, like she's just, not necessarily nervous, but she's aware of her surroundings. And again, she keeps her tail nicely trimmed and all this and that. So these are the things that I look for, that, priorities. Everybody has a different priority. Or everybody has different priorities with their animals. I don't care about how the, even putting this on or how the tail looks and whatnot. I care more about, am I too heavy for the horse? Do I have a good seat? Is everything, fitting properly? Do I have a saddle that's going to distribute the weight evenly? Is my horse ready for this? All these other things versus the hair. I mean, and that doesn't mean that you can't be very, conscious about what you're doing for your horse and still do that. I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying that a lot of people I see, even in the dog world, they will like spray their husky's tail pink, but their dog is like super, just like obnoxious. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like they're just a hyper puppy or a hyper dog. They don't have any manners. They're all over everybody, but they color their dog's tail. So it looks cute, but they act, like a wild little animal. So like this looks fine. She's going out for a little walk, nice little walk, nice in the grass. They're not on, the hard concrete. But again, I don't think that Bella is anywhere near ready. Not only development-wise in her body and her mind being ready for this, but also just, Tara hasn't really prepared her enough for this, in my opinion. Walking, so she goes into a trot. I think she's just, that just looks uncomfortable to me. Like, it just looks to me like, of course, I'm no dressage expert. I don't care to be. It just looks like she's just kind of sitting back down and slamming in the seat over and over and over again. But that's just me. I don't think she's ready for the trot. Again, all this trotting, again, going back to she's a young horse. She has a rider that's, in my opinion, just as an overall size, too big for this horse, especially at this age. She can still be growing and filling out and all that. I would not ride this horse even if she were fully grown. Because, unless this horse is, even if this horse is 1,200 pounds, I would still be hitting the limit of 20%. Or close to that with the saddle and everything else, okay? I don't want to put that much weight, especially on a younger horse that's not even fully grown yet. It is just about the size of the person, the size of the load, if you will, that the horse has to carry. Whether it is a person or, a giant buck, that you shot and threw on this horse's back, or you're having this horse, be a pack horse and they're carrying a lot of weight. I just think about the joints. And again, she's holding her head back. This, she can't look around. This horse can't feel comfortable, moving up and down. If she sees something that might spook her, she's just constant contact on the bit, and it just irritates me. Of course you can. That's just me. It just irritates me as a person because I put myself in the horse's position. I would not want that constant on my mouth. Chewing on the bit, a little bit of foam. I think, a little bit of foam there. Just, she's stinking cute. I would love to just play with her and just desensitize her and get her used to having some weight and stuff on her. I wouldn't put my whole body on there. Maybe I might step on the, whatever this is, stirrup. Or just get her used to, all sorts of different things. You can do all sorts of things to prepare your horse without ever even being in the saddle. Got her little, death grip. Not really death grip, but so they go in. Starts to, so that could have been a slip. It looked like maybe something gave out. She was kind of going down a slight little hill. It looked like she was starting to kind of trot, get a little bit faster than a walk there, and that gave out. So we're going to go back a few. So we're going back a little bit slower to see what possibly could have happened. It didn't, this foot here could have slipped, but I don't know. It looked like maybe something possibly gave out, but She was quick. She didn't fall backwards, throwing the horse more off balance. She did lean forward, so at least there's that. That's good on her that she was able to catch that. But if this were to happen to me, I would probably get off, because in my mind I would be thinking, am I too heavy for this horse? Did I cause that? Did she slip? Is there a hole there, or what's going on? Make sure that my horse is okay. Look at their little legs and their ligaments, have them walk around a little bit. That's just me. Maybe I'm just a helicopter parent. I mean, I can say I am a helicopter parent when it comes to my animals. But if any horse is to stumble while I'm on them, I immediately think, okay, what did I do to cause that? Did I walk them over an area that they couldn't see there was a rock there or a hole there? Am I walking them over a slippery, area? Or am I just, too heavy for them? Am I taking them off balance? These are just things that I personally think of. I'm not saying that she has to. But it looked like maybe her little leg might have given out a little bit there. She could have slipped. I mean, aliens could have sent some kind of beam to her to make her fall. I don't know. It could have been anything. Okay, so she goes in slow motion herself. So we see this foot go down. And then, yeah, it didn't even look like it slipped. It looked like this foot had the weight on it. This one was up, and this foot just gave in. So that is a red flag to me, that there's just too much weight. The horse is not developed enough. I mean, ouch. Like, that looks like it gave in. That looks like it could have hurt. Horses are very, very stoic. They don't show a lot of, pain. So regardless, if this had happened when I was, on the horse, I might get off and check them and walk them, just walk them, next to them for a little bit to make sure that they're okay. I mean, I probably, for myself, if that happened, especially more than once, I'm not saying it happened more than once, but if that were to happen more than once, while I was riding the horse, I would say, okay, I'm not going to ride for a while. Let's definitely make sure everything's okay. But it just looks like her leg just gave out. I mean, it's possible she could have slipped, but oh, there's a little tiny butterfly over here. So, if she doesn't want to move forward, it could be because it's painful. Because she maybe possibly almost sprained her little ankle there. If she doesn't want to move forward, I'm not going to make her move forward. She might be nervous again. I would probably have gotten off, especially if I had any kind of stalling afterwards, where the horse doesn't want to move forward. I would get off, check them, let them take a break without some extra weight on them, and just walk them and make sure that they can, walk off and get blood flow without having extra weight on them. Because that couldn't have been too comfortable, whether she slipped or not. It's like thinking about rolling an ankle. It could be pretty painful. So we're still going on. I don't know if that's natural or if it's just her particular gait that her feet really go wide out and it looks like they kind of circle out front. I mean, hey, I'm no horse expert clearly, so I could just be, so she found that little she stepped on that rock, her foot kind of slipped. She's giving her head a little bit more. It would have been better if she had her head in the first place so she could see where she's walking so she's not going to trip again.
What a clever girl.
So now they're walking over. This would be annoying to walk on with 2 feet, let alone 4 hooves with a rider who's controlling your head. So she could easily trip here, foaming more. Ouch. And I'm not saying go on, just pushing the horse. I'm not saying ouch like the horse is hurting, but just losing your footing can be a little painful. It can be hard on the joints. She's just pushing. And there's also a person in front of her with a camera. So she's pushing Bella into the person.
Good girl, Bella.
Good girl. Well done. Good girl.
She doesn't care about the good girls and whatnots. I mean, just constant tight bit.
What a good girl.
She sounds like she's definitely breathing hard. I mean, I know they're just walking, but still, going up and down hills. Again, this is a young horse. She's not fully developed. You have a heavy rider on her. Kind of a little bit of a head toss over there. So that was really the what I was just going to be going over was the part where she says that she sat down. Let's see how she does going through this gate here.
Battery's going.
That means we're gonna rush through the gate here.
Steady. Roll over to your left. Right. Roll over to your right. Over to your... Good. Well done.
So she's telling her in English, go over to your left, go over to your left. When I think that would be the right, wouldn't it? But I don't know, maybe she didn't say go to your left, but she's talking to her and this and that, and it's like, she doesn't know what you're saying. She doesn't know the English. Just guide her there. Or give her head, and I'm sure she knows how to get through this gate just fine.
Good
Good
girl. That was
girl.
very good. Very good girl, that. Very good girl.
She doesn't necessarily care.
If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. We love reading the comments. We love emojis.
She only loves reading the comments that are kissing her ass, but yes, by all means, if you want to go, I mean, nice picture to pause on herself. But if you want to go follow Tara, please do. By all means, go follow her. Go, like her videos, subscribe, all that good stuff. You do not have to follow me. If you do like how I covered the video, or you like the content that I post out here, then you are welcome to subscribe. It is always appreciated, but not a requirement. You can like or dislike the video. Leave me a comment telling me what you think of my video. So, I appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate all the support from, the last video that I just decided to take down of Tara's. Hopefully this one we won't have any issues with, because it is just commentary. It is criticism. You don't have to like it. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I do appreciate it. I hope all you all are doing well. Go give your little critters some love and say howdy do for me. And until next time, stay positive.